review on the Bridgestone Battlax S22s. The rear tyre is a triple compound. It's hard, medium and soft. And the front tyre is a double compound, is medium and soft. I'm running them on a MT07, tyre pressure at around about 34 front, 34 rear. When I bought these tyres, I made the statement that these are the best tyres I've ever had. And I copped a little bit of grief from a few people about making such a bold statement. But after 5,000 kilometres of giving them hell, I still stand by this statement. The overall performance, I've got to put it at least 9 out of 10, almost a 10 out of 10 for these tyres, front and rear. And I'll go through each reason why. So around town, I'm going to give them 8 out of 10. One of the reasons it didn't get a higher score than that is because of the hard compound on the rear. Occasionally, when I'm braking pretty hard, will activate the ABS. Carving corners, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I mean, these tyres have just never put a foot wrong in all the conditions I ride in, and that's dirty roads, polished corners, negative cambers. They have just been so predictable and so reliable. They go exactly where you point these tyres. They're brilliant. Holding a line, same thing, 10 out of 10. Once you tip it into a corner, it will just arc beautifully through that turn. If you have to pick the bike up because there's a pothole or some gravel or something like that, you can pick it up and put it back down and they behave perfectly. Traction, again, 10 out of 10. I've never had these tyres let go on me. Yeah, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 for traction. Sidewall flexibility and stiffness, again, I'm going to give them 10 out of 10. I think they're the perfect combination between having a little bit of flex in the sidewall to absorb those horrendous square potholes and lumps and bumps and things like that, and yet they have plenty enough stiffness in them so that there's no distortion when you're pushing it really hard through a corner. So 10 out of 10 for sidewall flexibility and stiffness. Lean angle, again, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I've pushed these things to the limit. I've scraped off half of my foot peg feelers. You can tip these things over as far as you're willing to go. Feedback and sensitivity, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. They pretty much tell you everything that's going on all the time. Gave it 9 out of 10 because I just feel like that feedback is slightly muted. But honestly, 9 out of 10 is still a pretty damn good score for feedback and sensitivity. Tyre life performance, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. As you know, some tyres, they're brilliant for the first half of their life. The second half of the life, the performance starts to drop off. I haven't found this at all with these. The rear tyre, I probably have about 30%, 40% left in the rear tyre. So the performance is just starting to drop off a fraction. So still, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 for its performance over the life of the tyre. The tyre life itself, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I think I'll get at least 10,000 kilometres out of the front tyre. I should get at least 8,000 kilometres out of the rear tyre. As I said, the only abnormal little bit of wear is the lip between the hard compound and the medium compound on the rear tyre. That doesn't affect performance. So given the kind of riding that I do, it's all tight, linked, mountainous roads, in other words, canyon carving. They get a pretty hard life and they spend most of their time over on the edges. So I think to get 8,000 Ks out of the rear tyre and at least 10,000 out of the front one, I think that's an incredible level of performance for the kind of traction that you get out of these tyres. Wet weather performance, I really can't say. It's just, when I put these tyres on, we just came into dry season, so I've only had one big downpour when I initially had the tyres put on. They handled pretty well in the wet, but it was really, I was on my way out to the mountains, so I was straight line riding. You know, I've run into a few damp corners. They still handled pretty well on that. They didn't get all slippy or squirrely or anything like that, like a lot of these tyres do. So I think these tyres are just outstanding. I don't think you can spend your money on a better tyre. No reason why I wouldn't go out and buy, actually I already have gone out and bought another set while they were on special at my local shop. So they're sitting up in their storage room waiting for me to trash these out and then go back and have another set fitted up straight away. If they perform as good in the wet as they do in the dry, these would just be an absolutely outstanding all-weather, all-year-round tyre. So that's pretty much it. I think they're brilliant. Go buy yourself a set. It'll improve your riding and improve your bike handling beyond any expectations you might have. All right, safe riding, enjoy. Get out there and carve some corners.